Hello, welcome to the lecture on the syllabus of Indian Polity. Indian Polity is the first subject most of us start our preparation with. In this video, we will make an attempt at understanding the syllabus of polity in a logical manner. Before proceeding with the discussion, I would like you to pause the video here and read this part of the syllabus once. This is the syllabus of Indian Polity in GS2 mains paper. Once we read the syllabus, we can break down the syllabus into certain blocks. Before understanding any subject, it is very useful if we understand the philosophy underlying behind it. Similarly, if we can understand the philosophy behind our constitution, we can appreciate the provisions better. So, this understanding the philosophy is done by a thorough study of the preamble, certain salient features of the constitution, significant provisions of it like fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policies, etc. After this, we will study about the basic structure of the constitution and amendment procedure. Once we understood the philosophy behind the constitution, then we study about the historical linkages to the philosophy behind the constitution. Indian constitution is an amalgamation of experiences gained throughout the independence struggle. So this connection of the current provisions of the constitution with the lessons learned during the independence struggle is understood in the historical underpinnings and evolution of the constitution. This constitutes the second block. After studying the philosophy and the historical linkages, we study about the three major pillars of democracy. The three major pillars of democracy are executive, legislature, and judiciary. Executive is responsible for implementation of various laws. While studying executive, we study the part in a comparative manner. That is, we study union executive, we compare it with the state executive. In union executive, we study about president, while in state executive, we study about governor. Then we study vice president, prime minister and chief minister, then union and state council of ministers. So this is all a comparative study. We compare their powers, their privileges, etc. Then we study about attorney general and advocate general. After studying about executive, we proceed towards legislature. Legislature is a law making body. It is where the representatives of the people, that is our elected representatives, meet and make laws that govern this country. So in legislature, again it is a comparative study. From union point of view, we study about parliament and its committees. From state point of view, we study about legislative assemblies and councils. After understanding legislature and executive, we study about judiciary. Judiciary is a third and most important pillar of our democracy. Judiciary is responsible for upholding the values of constitution. So in this part, we study about Supreme Court, we study about High Court, we study about district judiciary, then we study about Lok Adalats. Along with these, in India, there are a lot of tribal communities, especially in scheduled areas. Many of the tribal communities have their own judiciary system to handle things up to a certain level. So we will also understand the traditional judiciary of those tribal communities at the end of this topic. Then the fourth part is about local administration. For any government to be successful, decentralization is a core value. Giving value and power to the local people helps us in administering a country better. So, in local administration, we study about 73rd Amendment for Panchayats, 74th Amendment. Then we study about Panchayat Raj extension to the scheduled areas. Here, though Forest Rights Act is a part of environment and ecology, it also has its linkages in polity. So we study those aspects of Forest Rights Act in this topic. Then the next topic is, once we have understood the three pillars, that is executive, legislature and judiciary, we will link these three pillars. So while linking these pillars, we understand the issues and challenges with respect to the federal structure. Federal structure refers to the linkages between center and state governments. So here we study about functions of central government, functions of state government, various challenges with respect to these structures. Then we study about separation of powers between various organs. Especially with respect to Indian Constitution, separation of powers holds a prominent place, because unlike United States Constitution where there is a strict separation of powers, Indian Constitution we find parliamentary democracy. In parliamentary democracy, we notice a fusion of executive and legislature. That is, Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers are also members of the legislature. So, it is imperative that we study separation of powers between various organs and dispute redressal mechanism. Then we study about devolution of finances. While studying about devolution of finances, we study about Finance Commission of India, and then we study about the devolution of finances even up to the local level, that is from central government to state government to panchayats. We study how finances are devolved and various issues related to it. After linking these three pillars, that is executive, legislature and judiciary, and thorough understanding about it, we study about elections. Elections form a crucial part in any democracy. This is the setup where people express their will. So in elections, we study about election commission. We need to study salient features of Representation of People's Act. Then we study about anti-defection law. In this topic, we also study about model code of conduct and various election reforms. After studying about elections, the last two topics are various types of bodies. In these types of bodies, we study about constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, regulatory bodies. Then we also study about pressure groups and informal associations. So most of the times, these are the tail end topics. So in these, for prelims, we study about facts, and for mains, we critically analyze the functioning of these particular bodies, and we study if there are any recommended measures to improve the functioning of these bodies. After studying various bodies, finally, by now we would have understood all the prominent parts of the constitution. After understanding the entire constitution and the important topics, we compare our Indian constitution with various other constitutions, because Indian constitution is inspired from various other countries' constitutions. For example, United States Constitution inspired fundamental rights, whereas Ireland Constitution inspired directive principles of state policies. Similarly, our parliamentary system is inspired from UK's Westminster model. So in this topic, after understanding about all the provisions, we compare the important provisions with respect to the provisions of various other countries. Then we study about important amendments to the constitution and important judgments. So this is all about the syllabus of Indian polity. Generally, polity is approached with both prelims and mains perspective. In prelims, there are two types of questions. One, theory based question, where they will ask you what is a right or what is justice, what is liberty, so these kind of things. Or there might be questions based on certain facts. And with respect to mains, there may be questions on static syllabus, that is the syllabus we have discussed till now, or there are dynamic questions where certain aspects happening around us will be linked with the static topics and questions are asked. In the due process of lectures, we will see the entire syllabus in detail and understand the other nuances of it. Thank you.